Finding Academic Articles for Exegetical Papers, a tutorial. Goals and Objectives. The goal: to learn how to search for and retrieve an academic peer-reviewed journal article for an exegetical paper using the Atlas database. Objectives: Number 1, learn how to get to the Atlas database. Number 2, learn how to search by scripture reference or by keyword. Number 3, learn how to narrow down the search by various methods. And number 4, learn how to get an article if it is not available as a PDF at that moment.
Our first objective in finding an article for your exegetical paper is to go to apu.edu/library. This takes you to the library homepage. From this homepage, you'll come down to a place where it says All Databases, and you will click that. A database is basically a collection of subscriptions of journals and magazines, and we want to find one that would be useful for biblical studies. So I'm going to go to Choose Databases by Subject or Major. It's a drop-down box. I'll scroll all the way down towards the bottom where it says Theology, Religion, and Philosophy, and click that. From the list of Theology, Religion, and Philosophy databases, there are several that are listed here. Those that are in bold have been chosen by the librarians as most appropriate for theology, religion, and philosophy. For biblical studies, the best choice would be Atlas. It's the second one listed, ATLA Religion Database with Atlas. Click on that. To get to the database itself, you may have to log in with your normal APU login and username. Now that we're at the database, I want to show you the two different ways in which to search for articles. The first, you'll notice along the top are several tabs. I want you to click on Scriptures. This will take you to a list of all the books of the Bible as arranged in the table of contents. We're going to click Next until we find the book of Luke. And here I want to expand, and this will show us the chapters. And if you click on Expand again, this will show you the various verses. If you click on that, it will give you all the articles dealing with that specific verse. So if you've got an exegetical paper and you've got an issue with one particular verse, that's one of the best ways to go about it. The second search that I want to show you is a keyword search. Most of you are familiar with keyword searching because it's what you do whenever you use Google. So let's say you're looking up the parable of the Good Samaritan for your exegetical paper. You type it in the two keywords into there and you hit the word search. And this finds all the articles in which the words good and Samaritan occur in the title or anywhere within the article. You'll notice in the second one that's listed here, the words good and Samaritan appear in the title. And yet it has nothing to do with the parable of the Good Samaritan, but instead with some formula found in Samaritan Aramaic. This has nothing to do with our parable of Good Samaritan. To correct this, we want to put this into quotations, and that will give us the exact phrase, Good Samaritan. I then click Search, and go from 334 articles to 311. That helped narrow it down just a little bit. But again, this will now give me everything dealing with the Good Samaritan, including things like how the Inn of the Good Samaritan becomes a museum. That has nothing to do with the parable of the Good Samaritan. So what I want to do is add another keyword that has to be included. Notice that this is checked as and I'm going to type in parable. That way, it has to have parable and Good Samaritan within the article or title. This narrows it down to 254. 254 articles is still a lot to sift through. So what I want to do is then narrow this down by the date of the article. Notice how we have this slider and it says publication date. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to bring it up to about 1994, so it's in the last 20 years or so. And this limits our search down to 144 articles. That's wonderful, much smaller list to go through. But not all of them are academic peer-reviewed. And what this means is, as I click this box, is that when the author wrote the article, they sent it to the journal. The editor then sent that to 2 or 3 experts in the field, and they said, yes, it is a good academic paper and worthy of being published. That's the peer review process. Of those that are peer reviewed, published in the last 20 years, and have the parable and Good Samaritan within the title or the paper itself, We now have 39 articles to choose from, a much more manageable list. Our next objective is to evaluate the relevance of these resources based on the title of the article, title of the journal, and eventually by subject headings. You'll notice that this first article comes from the Journal of Pastoral Care and Counseling. It is an academic peer-reviewed journal, but it is not about the exegesis of the passage itself. This would be one of those cases where you want to eliminate it based on the title of the journal or possibly upon the title of the article itself. As I scroll down here, you'll see here's the Inn of the Good Samaritan becoming a museum. It is not related to the exegesis of the passage. So eliminating some of those will help you narrow down what you're wanting to read and research. Another way to do this is by going up here to subjects. These are subject headings applied by the editor to the individual articles to help explain what the article is about. In this particular case, on the first article, you'll notice that several people are listed and other things like another subject heading, clergy societal role. By looking at that, you realize this is not about the exegesis of the passage. This will help you eliminate even more articles so that you're down to just the best related to what you're trying to do. Now let's say that we've actually found the articles we wanted to use. Right here you'll notice where it says PDF full text. What that means is that if you click on that, you can read or download the paper yourself to save it for a later time. But not all articles are available. If it's not as a PDF, you might have to click on this full text finder. This will let you know whether it's available in another database, and here this article is available in another database we subscribe to, or you may have to use interlibrary alone and have to receive it from another library. If it says it's available through Article Reach, you'll be able to get that article sent to you as a PDF, usually in about 48 hours. So we have now shown you how to get to the Atlas database, how to search using scriptures, how to search using keywords, narrow that down by date, by peer review, by title of the article and title of the journal, and how to narrow it down also by the subject headings. I hope that helps you with your paper.